All right, we're going to start off this next round of speakers with Seth Hrywnak. Seth is a husband, father, and golf course supervisor. He grew up in Youngstown, New York, a small village approximately 25 miles north of the city of Buffalo, bordering where the lower Niagara River pours into Lake Ontario. Seth graduated from SUNY Delhi in 2012 with a bachelor's degree in business administration and a focus on turf grass and agronomics. They don't teach you that one in Catholic school. In 2015, Seth's parents, Michael and Ruth, began redesigning the home of Ruth's 100-year-old father, Howard Sawyer. Until then, Howard was living independently in his ranch with his 2 cats. The intent was to transform the ranch to a comfortable, tasteful, and efficient space to transition with the changing needs of each generation. Seth is here today to share Ruth's aging-in-place design and completed renovations.
Well, thank you for having me. This is the story of how my parents built their ideal retirement home in my grandfather's small cottage, and how proud I am of them taking on this project and how well they did. Now, as my grandfather's dependency on others grew, we realized as a family that it was time to change our living situations and see if we couldn't do this in the most efficient and comfortable way possible. My parents decided on adding on to my grandpa's existing house in order to make my grandfather's last years as comfortable as possible, live out the retirement in the village that they loved, and be with friends, family, and other loved ones. Grandpa declared that he was on board, so we moved him into my parents' house, and the planning process began. Now, the existing house was perfect for an elderly solo person. My grandfather loved this house. It was small, easy to clean, and he mowed the lawn up until he was 99 years old. We decided as a family that we were going to keep this in the family, and my mother decided to do what she did best. Planning and drawing, and using her career background working as a construction engineering tech early in her career. Her goal was to work towards an easy transition to old age in her own home with her father and her husband. Now, this project obviously went way over budget. But don't they all? One of the major issues that we had was the slab, just keeping it level, channeling plumbing throughout. However, the final product did turn out very well. My mother always said that aging in place isn't a sustainable idea unless you can maximize the efficiency of your house, whether it's solar panels, foam insulation throughout, and it's anything to minimize the long-term cost of living, basically. Now, here in the kitchen, that bottom left is the before. We doubled the size and had wide clearances, easy to operate appliances, in case you were ever in a wheelchair or something along those lines. And we really liked my mother's splash of color in that top left. Now, my father always bonded with my grandfather over the cedar paneling that was throughout the entire house. My father ripped it all down, pulled all the nails, planed it, and then it turned into a few accent walls throughout the house, and it just came out very, very well. Dining area, we added a larger sliding door, wider access to the patio on the side of the house, and that table just turned into a perfect place to entertain, whether it's family, friends, euchre nights, whatever have you. Now, this living room, that fireplace, is the only remaining aspect of the old home. Kept an open floor plan throughout, but divisions were created through partitioning, which really added to that mid-century feel that we wanted to maintain. Now, this is the den, Grandpa's room, guest room. It's kind of evolved. Now that has a sliding back door patio out to the workshop. It's right next to a full bathroom, and there's one of those accent walls again that we love so much. Now the master bedroom also has a sliding door to the back patio, full bath, laundry, all on first floor. If you'll notice the safety rails, that was thought out. And now this is the best part, the wood shop / studio. This was the only way my mom could sell the idea to my dad, in my opinion. Now it's still under construction, the interior isn't completed yet, but once this is done, hopefully they'll clear out my garage. Now, while this is a retirement project, the idea of chronic issues makes this part of the project a necessity. Now, it is going to be a wood shop / studio in the beginning, but it will be easy to convert into a live-in apartment if we ever needed an aide to stay there. And my mother and father would get the best of both worlds while staying in Youngstown, New York. Now this landscaping, that's the side, the picture on the left is the front door. Picture on the right is a side patio. It has easy access, but maximizes the privacy, wide doorway, small steps. And then here we need to acknowledge the J crew, Joe, Jason, Jeff. These guys really fell in love with the project and became extremely dedicated. And we just thought that, we should give them a shout out. Now, this project was started when my grandpa was 99 years old. He passed at 101 years young and was never actually able to enjoy the final product. However, the entire thing was completed with him in mind, and it just seems like a great idea for a retired couple's project to undertake. And thank you for listening to this story about my family.